Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. In this video, we will share the complete sentences of Allah's beloved Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from childhood to speech. Listening to these sentences will make all of you happy. Watch it in full. If you like the prayer of Allah, if you love Kepa or Nabi, give this video a like and write Labbaik or Reza al in the comment box. Friends, let's start. Let's start with the fact that in Abkhazia there was a tradition of lay culture. Every tribe had its own religion, its own mahapan, and its own gods and goddesses. Some of them used to worship idols. In Abkhazia, each tribe had its own religion and mahapan. Some tribes worshipped idols, while others were Jewish or Christian. The mahapan was distorted, and people worshipped humans, trees, and mountains. There was violence and no safety. People's lives and property were not guaranteed. Allah chose Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam to take the world out of darkness. He made him his prophet and sent him into this world. Friends, Hurur sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born on Thursday, July 5, 50,071 AD, in Mecca. Immediately after your birth, your grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, held you in the lap of God and took you to the Kaaba Sharif. There, he prayed for you and named you Muhammad Pat. In the joy of your birth, you were named Muhammad. On the seventh day, I called his capable people. When I asked him why he was named Muhammad, your grandfather replied that he wanted his grandson to be influenced by Islam, and your mother Said Amin named you Ahmad. Friends, when Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, you were already circumcised, your eyes were covered with kohl, and your whole body was pure. Your grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, found his penis circumcised and measured it. Friends, when Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, you were already circumcised and your whole body was pure. Your grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, found his penis circumcised and measured it. He was very happy and said that his grandson would be unique and glorious. Not only that, but when you sallallahu alaihi wasallam were born, your blessed fist was also clenched. The finger of martyrdom was raised toward the sky, looking as if it were confessing God's denial. Friends, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, it was customary for elders to send their children to the villages for breastfeeding to boost the population. Living in the fresh air of the villages made them healthier. In his belief, the weather in the villages was cleaner and rainier than that of the lions. This explains why the villagers were healthier and fatter. Friends, the same tradition also states that Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was taken to an area near Mecca called Bani La and was handed over to a woman named Halima. Halima was known as Halima Sa'diya because of her habit. History books clearly document its two primary purposes. The first purpose is that people used to send their children away from the city to the cool, fresh air of the countryside so that they would become healthy. The second purpose is that children could learn Arabic by staying with them. To achieve these goals, people from the cities sent their children to villages to be raised. Halima was from a very poor family, so she took on the responsibility of raising Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with the thought that if she could raise him for 2 years, she would receive some wealth in return so that he could lead a good life. Friends, in the same way, Hazrat Amin handed over his loving son, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to Halima. Halima took Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in her lap, and from that time on, mercy and blessings started coming in the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. At that time, there was a break in the city. The mother was only 2 years old, and the child met his family after every 6 months. According to this tradition, after 6 months, Halima also reached Mecca to meet Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother. She was accompanied by her husband, Harish, and her infant. The baby was crying due to hunger because Halima was very weak and there was also shortage of food and water. Halima was unable to feed the baby milk, so she picked up Allah's Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and started feeding him milk. Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam drank the milk with great gusto, and after he drank it, he fed the milk to her innocent baby. Halima was upset. She asked what had happened. When she was coming to Mecca, she did not have milk, but when the Lord came into her womb, special blessings from Allah started coming. Friends, after that, Halima went to her city, Harish, and her and a thin camel became part of the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That camel had come from Banyul towards Mecca. It was very cheap because it was very weak, and Halima herself was from a poor family. They had nothing to eat. Even his camel was malnourished. However, the situation had improved, and Halima's camel was now leading the pack. Halima's friends witnessed this. I recognized the camel as the same female camel Halima had purchased cheaply from Mecca. That female camel was selling fast. Friends, seeing this male caused Halima's friends to panic. Friends, I'm telling you, this is the same camel from Mecca. Halima started saying that this creature had come into her life, and since then, I've been experiencing a series of blessings and mercies. 2 years later, the agreement to raise the child was about to be completed. Halima had given a series of good things and blessings in her life during these 2 years. It was clear to me that he did not intend to return the Nurani child to her family. However, according to custom, he was required to hand her back after 2 years. That is precisely why, 2 years later, Halima gave birth to the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He set out for Mecca with her. When she arrived in Mecca, she informed Hazrat Amin that the child was truly blessed and that her life had been transformed by this blessing. She requested that the child stay with her for a few days, expressing her desire to raise him. Initially hesitant, Hazrat Amin eventually agreed. After Halima insisted, Hazrat Amin agreed and started eating for a few days. She told him to keep it with him and then come back and take it. This is how Halima took you back with her. Friends, while doing this, Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam turned 4 years old. When you were 4, you were playing with kids outside Halima's house. Among them was a son of Halima's marriage, who was the younger brother of Prophet Hazrat Muhammad. They were playing when you suddenly fell on the fish, changing the color of your face and chest completely. History books confirm that Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam met Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the first time. Then Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam came near you and made you lie down on the fish and removed your sign. This signifies that your heart has been exposed and I have extracted it and purified it with lemon water. I removed a small, colorless spot and declared that I had cast out the devil's curse. I then returned your heart to you. I kept it in your sign. Seeing this, the boys playing with you got scared. What has happened to you? Why has your face turned so pale? They ran to Halima and said that someone has murdered Muhammad. Halima got very scared and worried and started sleeping, thinking that after 2 years, I should have handed over this child to my mother 2 years ago. Now how will I face her? Halima worried when she reached you, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She saw that the color of your sign had changed. After a while you regained consciousness. Seeing this, Halima came to know about it and started eating it more. I will not keep you with me. After that, Halima reached Mecca and handed over Prophet Muhammad to Hazrat Amin. Friends, after that, at the age of 4, you started living with your mother Hazrat Amin. Friends, when Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam turned 4 years old, you returned to Mecca and lived with your mother Hazrat. After that, you lived near Mina. In the year 575 or 50,076, when you were between 5 and 6 years old, you left for Medina with your mother Hazrat, your grandfather Abdul Muttalib, and Hart. In Medina, two Al-Azhar were sent for you. Two Al-Azhar were sent for you. First, your grave in Medina was blessed. Second, your grandfather Abdul Muttalib's maternal home was also in Medina. The journey to that place took 1 month. It used to take a month, so your journey also lasted about a month. After a month, you turned back and were coming towards Mecca. So this sentence came into your life, seeing whom your grandfather Abdul Muttalib, Allah's Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, got a second big blow in his childhood itself, and Allah put him into another trouble. Friends, what happened was that after a month you were returning from Medina to Mecca, and on the way, your wife Dr. Harit Amin's health deteriorated and she became seriously ill, and after that she passed away in Mecca. There's a place named Kibilaba in Medina where Harit Amina was buried. You became an orphan at the age of 6. Your grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, was understandably distraught. He believed that your father, Harit Abdullah, had died a few days before your birth and that you were only 6 years old when your mother passed away. This caused your grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, great distress, leading him to conclude that your mother had passed away when you were only 6 years old. Grandfather Abdul Muttalib was distraught. He thought, one day, one has to die. Then, your grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, took you in his lap and led you toward Mecca, worried and sleepless. After all, why is this happening to this innocent child? Friends, you should think about it and see what you must go through with your children. They become orphans in childhood itself. People look at them with great contempt, and they are not treated well. But you, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, had the help of Allah, as Allah himself blessed you. My Prophet Muhammad has said that when you became an orphan, Allah's help was with you, and that is why such a situation arose with you, and Allah supported you. Friends, after that, your grandfather Abdul Muttalib brought you to Mecca with grief. There was an atmosphere of grief inside your house. Abu Talib, your brother, was enraged by your state. Abu Talib loved you deeply, as did Abdul Muttalib, who also loved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam more than any of his sons or grandsons. Friends, Abdul Muttalib was a great person. He was the leader of Kush, and people loved him. There was a special floor made for him in the village, but he was the only one who sat on it. Allah's Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was still young. He would come there while playing and sit on it, and Hazrat would come forward with Abdul to lift him up. You were made to sit separately from there, but Abdul Muttalib would stop him and say, "He is my grandson. Let him sit." Then your grandfather would place his hand on your head and back and make you sit beside him. Friends, your grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, loved you deeply. He took care of you, fulfilled your every need, and never let you face any kind of trouble. He always kept you with him, went out with you, and made sure you were happy. I spent my days doing the same. Now, at the age of 8, listen to me. Allah's Prophet completed his life's journey by overcoming all kinds of blessings. You are now 8 years, 2 months, and 10 days old. One day, your grandfather Abdul Muttalib also passed away. While dying, he entrusted your upbringing to Abu Talib. Friends, I ask you, what must she be going through as a child? Neither her mother nor you are there with her. A grandfather has his support too. After that, Abu Talib takes up the responsibility of your upbringing. He supported you and protected you in every way. He kept you safe from enemies and swords in every way and helped you until your last breath. Abu Talib may not have been rich, but he never let you feel deprived. Whatever you wished for, you always got. You spent your days with love and friends. You took Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam with you because the journey was long. Abu Talib never let you feel the lack of anything. You spent your days with love and friends. You took Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam with you because the journey was very long. It was a journey of 1.5 months. Abu Talib never knew that this innocent little boy was there. There is no support from grandfather. He should not be relied upon by anyone else. So friends, once Abu Talib along with his convoy went to Ravan with Muksh in the evening. Remember, there were people before now, especially the people of Kush. They had an import-export business. They would buy goods from one house and take them to another house and sell them. They bought goods and did business related to their work. Abu Talib and his convoy went to Makkah with the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet made him ride a female camel. When the caravan of Abu Talib reached the border of the country of Sham, it was night. They made their camp there so they could spend the night and get rid of their fatigue. Friends, we must tell you that in his belief there used to be monks who went from one house to another on foot. He led the people sometimes with his dut. He never went out of the house. He always found relief inside his home. He only came out if he had to tell a story. One day, while they were camping, someone came running to them. He took the Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Abu Talib. He said that this man had come as the leader of the whole world. Abu Talib was taken aback and inquired, "How do you know this? Who informed you that this man is the leader of the entire world?" Rahib replied, "When you came from that valley to this one, there was no stone here that didn't sting. After seeing this man, stones and pain only hurt those whom Allah has made his prophet." He insisted that this man should not be brought to the evening of the country because there was a danger from the Jews. They might kill him. He said that he wore this man in this way because the time had come for him to become a prophet in the night and in Israel. He wore this man in this way because there was a peacock feather of prophecy tied on his back, like a peacock. He wore it on him with that peacock as well. Don't take them seriously. Abu Talib had faith in Rahim's button that he is his. It's true. After that, Abu Talib sent Prophet Muhammad back to Mecca with the help of someone else because he had come to realize that this was no ordinary person, this was a special man. After that, Abu Talib became more vigilant about your upbringing and protection, and he started protecting you in every way. Friends, you can see the honesty and sincerity of Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Once Hazrat Khadija Radiallahu ta'ala and gave you her wealth and sent you on a journey in the evening accompanied by one of her slaves. Allah's efforts paid off and there was a lot of profit in the trading. Maysura, the slave of Hazrat Khadija, lauded your integrity and compassion. This impressed Hazrat Khadija so much that she turned to you sallallahu alaihi and asked you to marry her. Friends, Hazrat Khadija Radiallahu ta'ala and is now a successful businesswoman. She used to distribute the earnings from her business to the poor, orphans, widows, and the sick. She also covered the expenses of the marriages of many poor girls. In this way, Hazrat Khadija Radiallahu ta'ala made a huge contribution to the history of Islam and the history of the entire world. She selflessly helped the poor with food and clothing. She did not believe in or worship idols. Friends, we must emphasize that Hazrat Khadija was the daughter of a prophet. She had 2 marriages before marrying Muhammad and she had sons and daughters before him. However, both of them were from the same city and had passed away. He first married Abu Al, who had 2 daughters. After Abu Al's death, he married Hartaldian for the second time and had a daughter. Unfortunately, she also passed away after a few years. She became a widow again. After that, important leaders proposed marriage to Khadija, but she refused. Allah then guided her toward Prophet Muhammad. Hazrat Khadija, seeing the honesty and long journey of Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sent the message of third marriage to Prophet Muhammad through one of her special friends, whose name was Nafis. Upon hearing the message, Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam refused, saying that in this regard, he would first marry his father Abu Talib and his wife. I will talk to him only after that. I will tell you about this, friends. After that, Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told his I talked to Abu Talib, that is, he was told this. When I told this in the message, your father Abu Talib became very happy on hearing this and agreed to do the nikah and gave you this gift. Did I? Your love is of our own family. Umar bin Saad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke in the capacity of an elder, and the woman was given 20 rupees as dowry at the time of marriage. The money you gave to your wife is yours. I am capable Abu Talib, and I performed your nikah. After that, the marriage of Hazrat Kashi and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was solemnized by you. That talim read it, in which the praise of Allah was recited. After that, Kabul was named and the dowry was declared. The dowry included 20 camels. This took place 2 months after Mul's return from Sham. At that time, you were 25 years old, and Hazrat Khadi was 40. Hazrat Khadi was your first wife. You did not marry any other woman. All your children were hers. Only Hazrat Ibrahim was born from Hazrat Maria. Friends, these are the children of Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Hazrat Khadi wasallam. The names of your children are as follows: first Qasim, then Ainab, then Rakia, then Kulsum, then Fatima, and then Abdullah. All your sons died in childhood. Al-Saun. Yes, you left this world 6 months after your birth. As you know, at the time of marriage, the blessed age of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was 25, and Hazrat Khadi was 40. Hazrat Khadi was now a mere Tayyan Khatun, and Tayyan was a woman. When the first verse was revealed to Hazrat Khadi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam first told Hazrat Khadi to be the first woman to accept Islam. Hazrat Khadi is the first woman. You have helped Hazrat Khadi a lot in spreading Islam, both internationally and financially. Friends, Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved Hazrat Khadi radhiyallahu ta'ala anha very much. You did not remarry while he was alive, and now it is time for you to remarry. It was a custom that he married 10 times. Up to 10-11 marriages used to happen in urban areas at that time, but the love of Prophet, peace be upon him, Hazrat Khadi remained married until the age of 25, until she did not remarry. Hazrat Khadi and Prophet Muhammad spent about 25 years in each other's company. Allah's Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has clearly stated that Khadi is one of the best women in the world. Even after your death, Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam remembered you often and offered prayers to your friends. Friends, all the children of Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are from your 6th birth anniversary, except Hazrat Ibrahim radiyallahu ta'ala Kashi radiyallahu ta'ala and your Abu Talib had passed away. You declared that year as the year of mourning. Dear friends, before the declaration of prophethood, Allah's Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to take food and drink items with him to Gray's house. He would go to the hill of Hira and sit alone and pray to Allah. He was famous for worshipping Allah by doing tasks. This sequence continued like this for quite some time. I am bringing it to you both in the same way. He came to the hill of Hira and kept worshipping Allah. The Prophet of Allah, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was busy doing the same on the hill of Hira. Meanwhile, Hazrat Ibrahim came to you in his unique form. Then Hazrat Ibrahim appeared before you. We will tell you. Tell Salam is the leader of the angels and is Hazrat Ibrahim. The power of Salam is such that if Hazrat Ibrahim spreads its wings, it can cover the whole world from east to west. Hazrat Ibrahim has 1 wing of this size, and Hazrat Ibrahim has 70 such wings. Hazrat Yawara will be even more powerful, and his size will be beyond imagination. Ibrahim's brain is so advanced that it operates at an incredible speed. It can reach the sinner semi-machine in the blink of an eye and to return to the sinner from the semi-machine in the blink of an eye. This is undeniable proof of Ibrahim's immense power. The world is such that if Hazrat Ibrahim is there, he can pick up this whole fish and turn it round. His name is Ira al-Salam, also known as the Angel of Death. He comes to every human being's house, and if a human being sees him once, then he cannot see any other human being again. That person remains deprived of seeing anyone else forever. The power of Hazrat Ira is such that if he puts his finger on anyone, that person dies. This makes one wonder about the power of the words of Allah's angel Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him. This young man in his original form appeared before Allah's beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, and started eating. When Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him, heard this, he replied, I do not know how to read. Hazrat Ibrahim said, "Read the Iqra." The young man continued to eat, and Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said, "I do not know how to read." Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said for the third time, "Read the Iqra." But the young man said, "I do not know how to read." Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said, "I do not know how to read." Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said, "Read the Iqra." But you again said that you do not know how to read. Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him, took Allah's beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam with his sign and with his sign in this way. Hazrat Ibrahim, peace be upon him, placed both his hands on the side of Dal. Both the hands of the Allah Prophet outwards. Then Ibrahim touched the beloved Prophet with his sign and gave him another slap. The Hadith Sharif clearly states that Allah's beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that at that time Hazrat Ibrahim had said so much. "I was so pressed that I was about to take my blood out." But Ibrahim pushed him away with his rod and said, "Read it in the name of your Lord, who has created you and us and this world, who has created the human being. I also got filled with blood from a lotus flower, which shows that your God is very kind to you." Then Allah's beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam started reciting it, and then he came down from the mountain of Great Hira in a very frightened state and came to his house, that is, after saying that sentence. Allah's beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam came to his house in a frightened state. At that time, your body was shivering in the same way a human's body shivers in cold. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam entered your house in a state of extreme fear. You, Wabi Hartori Kati rahillahu ta'ala, and instructed him to take the cloth and cover himself with it. Harati Katia brought the cloth, you covered yourself with it, and went to sleep. You, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, experienced intense fear. You, Wabi Hartori Kati rahillahu ta'ala, and came to your house in a very frightened state. You said, "Take the cloth and cover yourself with it." Harati Kadia brought the cloth and you covered yourself with it and went to sleep. After that, signs of fear started appearing on your sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. You narrated these incidents to your wife, Harati Kadia rahillahu ta'ala, and you told her everything that had happened to you on the hill of Great Hira in front of Harati Kadia. Harati Kadia replied, "This cannot be a devilish act, because you have always helped the poor, supported marriages, and defeated these demons. Be careful, you have always helped the helpless, so Allah will never do wrong to you. Allah will never destroy you." Then Harati Kadia took Allah's beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam along with her to her brother Harit. The Jews were indisputably great scholars at that time. Earlier they were idol worshippers of the East, but they were very educated. That is why later they accepted this religion, then they also accepted Allah and Anil. They were very great scholars at that time. That is why Harati Kadi took Allah's beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam along with them to her brother Harit and narrated the whole sentence to Hazrat Barak ibn Nafil. He was made to wear scarf in his old age, that is, he was not able to see at that time. When he heard about the condition of Allah's Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he asked what had happened to him. Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied that he was engaged in worship on the hill of Great Hira when a large person appeared before him. This individual began to instruct him to read, but Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam declined. The individual pressed him firmly, and Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam began reading. As we previously mentioned, Hazrat was a renowned scholar of Islam, so he was intimately familiar with the signs of the arrival of the last prophet of Allah. After hearing my testimony, he began eating. I swear by Allah that whoever came to you was the same angel of Allah, Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Ismail. The angel used to come to him. The angel Harta Musa used to come to him, and the same angel used to come to you. I came and got close to you. Now you come to you from your area, from your city. It will throw you out because everyone has raised the level of truth. All the prophets have come in this world. All of them have been given the power in the same way because Hazrat Barak bin Nufin was a great scholar of Islam. That is why he was well aware of all the signs of the coming of the last prophet of Allah. He told you all these things because he knows you. He also heard from Hazrat Kashi that she married Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam only because of you. You are trustworthy. After telling you all this, Hazrat Barat started giving his nafil. If I remain silent until that time, I will help you. After hearing this, Hazrat Kashi read your first call. That is, Hazrat was a woman who brought reward on you, and secondly, this Hazrat Barat was a fool who blessed you, sallallahu alaihi. He confirmed Ilahi Valim. I will help you. I have already seen your first call, Hazrat Kashi. Hazrat was a woman who brought you a reward. Second, Hazrat Barat was a fool who blessed you, sallallahu alaihi. He confirmed Ilahi Valim. He told your elder name. He read the second kalam. The next sentence is Inshallah. It will be uploaded very soon. A lot of hard work went into making this video. All of you please give it a like and share it with your friends before 12 Rabiul Awwal. If you have seen the video up to this point, we thank you. We'll be back with a new video soon. Until then, Assalam.